everybody, I wanted to show you a project that I'm working on right now. I'm just going to take off this little marker right here. That was just defining where the front of the tank was. This is called the Ellis tank by Quince Co. And I had to mark the front because it has a really fun, like high-low kind of sloping hem, and it's shorter in the front. I am using this Illimani Sabri 2, and it is a combination of cotton and alpaca, which means that it's kind of like light like cotton, but has a really beautiful drape that alpaca gives. I don't have to worry at this point that this edge looks really rough and kind of wonky, because after I block it, I'm going to go all the way through. I might even make a video doing that, where I'm going to pick up and knit all along this edge. And once I've picked up and knit all of those stitches, then I immediately bind off, and it gives a really good kind of crisp edge to the neckline and to the armholes. Okay, so anyway, it's time for me to do a 3-needle bind off to seam the top of these straps. So in order to do that, I have to have the right sides facing if I want the seam to be on the inside. I have done some projects like the Velocore by Andrea Mary, where it's an exposed seam. But this one, the seam is on the inside. It's going to be nice and smooth on the outside. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I've flipped it inside out, and I have the right sides facing and touching each other like this. This is the right side of the strap, here's the right side, and they are right up against each other, okay? And I'm just going to check and make sure that my numbers are correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And I have my working yarn. It's not a lot, but I have some working yarn coming from the back needle. Okay. Now I am ready to do my 3-needle bind off with the 3rd needle. Okay. This is why it's called the 3-needle bind off. Okay. So I'm going to go into the first stitch knitwise, into the second stitch knitwise. I'm going to wrap it and knit those two together. It could be kind of awkward the first time you do it, but just hang in there. Off it goes. Okay. Trying not to let any others slip off. That was one. We knit those two together. Now it's time to knit another, because when we bind off, we always have to have 2. I'm going into the first stitch, into the second. I'm going to knit those 2 together and pop them off. Now I'm going to take the back needle, and I'm going to grab it and pull it over the second, like that. Now I go in, and knit them together, pop them off. Now I'm grabbing the first one and going over the second. Let's do it again. Into that knitwise, into the second one knitwise, knit those together, and see how I'm just holding those 2 needles parallel like that? Try to just keep them like that so that it doesn't get too squirrely. Okay, oops. Knit these 2 together, 1 and 2, and I'm pulling first one over the second again. Knit the first one, knit the second. Almost gets a little bit more awkward as there's less stitches on, but I'm just holding them together, pulling that off. This one is just getting misshapen just because it's an end. Then I just go into that first stitch, into the second, knit them together, and then I go first one over the second, like that. And now I'm just going to pull on the tails to tidy it up a bit. Now I could go ahead and just pull this through. So here is that seam right here. That is on the inside, that's why you see that reverse stockinette. And here it is on the right side. So it's really smooth. It'll look fine once it's all blocked and once I have the edging done, but it's a really nice thing to know because it is, it's a nice seaming technique that just gives a really smooth appearance on the outside. That's called the 3-needle bind off.